take off, take flight with you. For we never fly, but we're flying.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Take Flight podcast. So it's Shuwel here, and I've been given the honor of hosting episode number 76, which is another one of our Take Flight Takeaways episodes. Now, in case you're not familiar with it, these are short solo episodes ranging between 5 to 15 minutes, where one of us from the team of Pabilo, Olu, Daniel, and myself will be sharing with you takeaways, lessons, and recommendations from something that has recently impacted our lives. Now, we'll be releasing these takeaway episodes every 2 weeks, and this is the second in the series. So if you missed the first one, make sure to check out episode 74, where Pabilo did a great episode talking about saving for a rainy day. Now, in my episode, I will be giving a book recommendation and 5 lessons that I've taken away from this book. Now, this book is called The Almanack of Naval Ravikant, and the author is Erik Jorgensen. Now, some context for this book, and I'm sure you have this question in your mind: what is an almanac? Now, this is a term for a publication about one or two multiple subjects condensed into one document. Now, the subject in this case is Naval. So Naval is an entrepreneur, philosopher, and investor who has captivated the world with his principles for building wealth and creating long-term happiness. Now, the Almanack of Naval is a collection of Naval's wisdom and experience from the last 10 years, shared as a curation of his most insightful interviews and reflections. Now, this isn't a how-to book or a step-by-step gimmick. Instead, through Naval's own words, you'll learn how to walk your own path towards a happier and wealthier life. Now, that's the context. Now, this book is split into 2 parts, wealth and health. And for these takeaways, I wanted to focus on the wealth creation part and just share with you the 5 points that really resonated the most with me. Now, the first point was to seek wealth, not money or status. Wealth is having assets that earn while you sleep. Money is how we transfer time and wealth. Status is your place in the social hierarchy. So this is just something that Naval wants us to focus on primarily at the beginning, is to really focus on wealth versus money and status, because wealth is ultimately something that will give us time, it will give us freedom, and it will also be the most important thing to focus on rather than these byproducts about money and status. Now, another takeaway that I got from the book on the wealth piece was you're not going to get rich renting out your time. You must own equity, a piece of a business, to gain your financial freedom. Now, this you've probably heard many times in different books, but I think the way that Naval condenses this down and has demonstrated this through his investments in his career, it's just another great reminder that we will not get rich renting out our time, and it's important that we have equity, whether that's in another larger business or equity in our own business. That's how we will gain financial freedom. Then the third point I just wanted to raise was about playing iterated games. So all the returns in life, whether in wealth, relationships, or knowledge, come from compound interest. Now, this is just another reminder that everything that we're trying to do, all the best things, take time, and it takes time because we need to repeatedly work at it, build at it, and let it grow. And the important point here is that we should try to focus our time on areas where we can continue to compound that growth, to make sure that we're getting the most outcome by the end of it as well. Now, another takeaway that I thought was really cool was about embracing accountability and take business risks under your own name. Society will reward you with responsibility, equity, and leverage. So I think this is something which really resonated with me, because beyond my own career, I have a property development company that I've created, which is, funnily enough, also under my own name. It's called Ahmed Capital Group. Now, this is a company that I've been able to build over time with processes in place and with people supporting me. So my brothers are working for me in that organization. And together we're able to build a company which is building equity, it's building a property portfolio as well, and also something that we can continue to leverage more, all for not just me, for them, but also our wider family as well. So I think this is why something like this key point about embracing accountability and take business risks under your own name resonated really with me a lot, because this is a phase that I'm in now where, as well as having a career that I love and being able to develop skills and learn a lot, on the side, I can also translate those skills into accountability and taking some business risk under my own name. Key takeaway number 5 on the wealth piece, and this is that fortune requires leverage. Business leverage comes from capital, people, and products with no marginal cost of replication. So, for example, coding or media. If anyone wants to build wealth, it's going to be impossible to build that wealth with just your own capital, just you individually as a person, or with a product that has significant costs every time you want to reproduce. So it's important that you try to leverage what you have around you, leverage the capital that you have available to you, leverage people and teams to try and co-create wealth together, or create a product that doesn't have significant costs every time it's being replicated, whether that's coding, or it could even be through media, through podcasts, YouTube videos, etc. All of these things can be used and consumed by someone else without it having another additional cost to it. Leverage is very important. Then, even though that was the 5 key takeaways, I have one quick bonus one, which I thought was quite funny. And this was from near the end of the wealth section, where Naval talks about how when you're finally wealthy, you realize it wasn't what you were seeking in the first place, but that is for another day. And that another day is an entry into the second part of the book, where Naval talks about happiness and how there's ways in which that you can create habits, create a lifestyle that ensures that your default level of happiness is up to the highest standard that you can set it for yourself. So it's a fantastic book. I'll repeat the book title again, The Almanack of Naval Ravikant. Naval is someone that you should definitely check out on Twitter. He has a strong following there. Also, he has a podcast and where he does 1 or 2 2-minute snippets of messages that he's currently learning and going through. His track record speaks for itself. The book also has a introduction by Tim Ferriss, and he's someone that if you're not following, you should do. And Tim is someone who is inspiring to many people. Also is an early investor in many different companies, as well as that has an amazing podcast, which you should check out if you haven't checked out. His name is Tim Ferriss. But yeah, it's a fantastic book. It's a book that I recently read while on holiday, so it gave me a chance to switch off from everything. Some of the messages in there are messages I have heard already, but it was just a nice, concise reminder of the things that we should prioritize and how we should build for the future. So the book is called The Almanack of Naval Ravikant. The author is Eric Jorgensen. I hope this has been useful. This is another Take Flight Takeaway episode. So as I mentioned at the beginning, we'll be doing this every 2 weeks, where one of us from the team of 4 at Take Flight Podcast will be releasing an episode and sharing these bite-sized episodes about things that we've recently learned or things that have really impacted our lives recently. And we want to share the lessons forward with you all. So thank you for listening to Take Flight Podcast, episode number 76. We hope this episode of Take Flight Takeaways has been valuable for you. Please share your feedback to us as we continue to grow. As mentioned in previous episodes, we found out that we are in the top 5% of podcasts globally, and we've only been able to get there with your continued support and encouragement. So please do continue to listen. Please share it with someone if you found it useful. Any feedback, please let us know on our Instagram page at Take Flight Podcast, or any questions or follow-ups around the topics, please feel free to reach out to me on Instagram at Shuwel1 or LinkedIn, linkedin.com/Shuwel. So yeah, with that, I hope this has been useful. The book was a great read for me. Enjoy the rest of your week, your weekend, whenever you're listening to this. And yeah, we hope this helps you to take flight. Talk to you soon.
Take off, take flight with you. For we never fly, but we're